The night air was crisp, carrying the faint scent of pine and the distant crackle of a campfire. Emma's parents had chosen this secluded spot in the mountains for their annual camping trip, a tradition that celebrated the vast beauty of nature far from their bustling city life. The 7-year-old, with her unbridled curiosity and a keen sense of adventure, had always loved these excursions. That night, under a sky littered with stars, Emma's fascination reached new heights. Her parents, busy setting up the tent and unloading gear, didn't notice as she wandered away from the circle of light cast by the fire, drawn by the need to see the stars without the glow of the campfire blurring their brilliance. As Emma reached a small clearing, she lay down on the soft grass, gazing upwards. The constellations seemed to dance just for her, each star twinkling like a tiny eye winking at her from the depths of the universe. It was during this moment of awe that the sky changed. The stars blurred, and a bright, pulsating light replaced the gentle dark blue of the night sky. At first, Emma thought it was a shooting star or maybe a satellite, her mind grasping at logical explanations taught in her second-grade class. But as the light grew intense and centered right above her, fear mixed with her wonder. The ground beneath her seemed to hum, vibrating with a silent frequency that she felt more than heard. The light enveloped her completely, lifting her gently off the ground. The sensation wasn't harsh or frightening. Rather, it was like being cradled in warm, buzzing energy. Emma, overwhelmed by the otherworldly phenomenon, lost consciousness, her last visual memory being the sight of the stars dimming around the encroaching brightness. Meanwhile, miles above the Earth, the occupants of the spacecraft monitored the abduction process. They were beings from a distant galaxy, their forms composed of light and energy, making them look like living, moving constellations. Their mission was exploratory, driven by a deep desire to understand other forms of life and possibly connect with them. Humans, particularly intriguing due to their emotional complexity, had become their latest subjects of study. As Emma lay unconscious aboard the alien vessel, her presence marked the beginning of an unintended journey. The aliens, for all their advanced technology and noble intentions, had failed to consider one crucial aspect of human life: the emotional bond of a family. The decision to take Emma, made in the spirit of curiosity and advancement, was soon to unfold as the most profound mistake of their lives, teaching them about a fundamental human experience: love. Emma awoke to a world unlike anything she could have imagined. The space around her shimmered with a soft pearlescent glow, the walls of the room pulsing gently as if breathing. The air was crisp, tinged with a hint of something metallic yet not unpleasant. She sat up, finding herself on a platform that resembled a bed, covered in a smooth, fabric-like material that changed colors soothingly, from serene blues to soft greens. As her eyes adjusted to the light, Emma noticed the beings around her. They were tall and slender, composed of what seemed like moving streams of light contained within a vaguely humanoid outline. Their presence was calming, and each movement they made trailed a cascade of luminescent particles that dissolved into the air. The aliens communicated not with words, but with thoughts that appeared in Emma's mind as if she was thinking them herself. They introduced themselves as the Ethers, explorers from a distant galaxy seeking to understand the universe's diverse life forms. Emma learned that their planet, Etheria, was a place where technology and nature existed in perfect harmony, a concept illustrated by the room's organic response to her presence. Curious and somewhat reassured by the peaceful demeanor of the Ethers, Emma explored the space with her eyes. The room morphed as she moved, walls gently receding to create more space, colors shifting in response to her emotional state, which toggled between wonder and a hint of anxiety. One of the Ethers, who called themselves Solus, seemed to take a special interest in Emma. Solus explained that their society valued the knowledge and preservation of life above all else, and that they meant no harm. They hoped to learn about human emotions and physical needs through Emma, to better understand how beings of such complex emotions navigated the universe. Emma asked about her return home. The Ethers paused, a ripple of shimmering light reflecting their hesitation. They admitted that the journey back to Earth was complicated, but assured her that they would explore all possibilities. Their primary concern now was her well-being and ensuring that her stay in Etheria was as comfortable as possible. To distract her from homesickness, the Ethers showed Emma around their ship. The vessel was a marvel of biotechnological engineering, capable of traversing vast stretches of the cosmos through methods that bent the very fabric of space and time. They showed her the navigation chamber, a room filled with holographic stars and planets that they used to chart their course through the stars. As the tour concluded, Emma was led to a viewing deck where the vastness of space stretched out before her, countless stars and planets dotting the inky blackness. For a moment, her fears were forgotten, replaced by a profound sense of her place in the cosmos. Here, amid the silence of space, Emma realized how small Earth was in the grand tapestry of the universe, and yet how significant it felt to be a part of something so vast. This realization was the beginning of her understanding of the Ethers and their quest for knowledge. But as Emma looked out into the stars, a part of her yearned for the familiar comfort of her home planet, setting the stage for the deep, emotional journey she was about to undertake on Etheria. The next phase of Emma's journey began with an exploration into the nature of human biology and emotion. The Ethers, keen to understand the intricacies of human life without causing harm, initiated a series of non-invasive experiments designed to observe and learn from Emma's responses to various stimuli. The first experiment took place in what the Ethers called the sensory harmonization chamber, a room that adapted its environment to stimulate specific senses gently. Emma stood in the center, watching as the room morphed into different Earth environments. One moment, she was surrounded by a virtual recreation of a sunny beach, with waves gently lapping at her feet, the sound of seagulls overhead. The next, she was in the middle of a bustling city street, complete with the distant murmur of conversations and the soft honking of cars. The accuracy of the simulations was astounding, each scene crafted perfectly down to the smallest detail, evoking a spectrum of emotions from Emma: delight, nostalgia, and at times, a deep longing for home. Solus, observing her reactions, noted the fluctuations in her emotional state through a device that Emma wore like a bracelet. It measured her physiological responses, heart rate, skin temperature, and even subtle changes in her facial expressions. This device, however, was no ordinary piece of technology. It was symbiotic, almost part of her, designed to be as unobtrusive as possible. The Ethers were particularly fascinated by the complexity of human emotions. They understood joy, sadness, and fear conceptually, but observing these emotions directly from Emma provided them with profound insights into the human psyche. Each response was logged and discussed among the Ethers, who sought to understand how these emotions influenced human decision-making and social interactions. In subsequent experiments, Emma was introduced to various artifacts from different cultures around the universe. These items, musical instruments that played themselves, books that whispered stories into the mind, fabrics that changed texture with touch, were all part of the Ethers' collection from their travels across galaxies. Emma's task was to interact with these items while the Ethers studied her curiosity and learning processes. They were amazed by her adaptability and the speed with which she absorbed new information. Throughout these sessions, Emma was treated with utmost care. The Ethers were gentle, always ensuring she felt safe and comfortable. They communicated regularly with her, explaining each step of the process, and were attentive to her needs and questions. In turn, Emma grew more comfortable in their presence, her initial apprehension giving way to a budding trust and even a sense of camaraderie. Despite their advanced technology and their profound knowledge of the cosmos, the Ethers realized they had much to learn about human emotions, which were as vast and complex as the universe itself. This realization brought them closer to understanding the gravity of their decision to bring Emma to their world. As the experiments continued, Emma's understanding of the universe expanded, and so did her role. She was no longer just a subject of study, but was becoming an active participant in an interstellar exchange of knowledge. However, the homesickness that tugged at her heart reminded the Ethers of the emotional depth they were only beginning to understand. This undercurrent of longing would soon prompt a crucial turning point in their journey together. As the days progressed, The ethers observed an increasing pattern of melancholy in Emma's responses, despite her fascination with their technology and culture. The experiments, initially a source of curiosity and wonder for Emma, began to evoke a deeper sense of isolation and sadness. It was during a session designed to explore memories, where Emma was asked to relive her favorite moments on Earth through virtual reality, that the full impact of their actions hit home. The session, set in a virtual replica of her backyard, was meant to comfort Emma by providing a familiar setting. Instead, it brought tears to her eyes as she played on the swing her father had built for her. The detailed simulation included the laughter of her younger brother and the smell of her mother's cooking wafting from the open kitchen window. Overwhelmed by homesickness, Emma broke down, her sobs echoing in the sterile calm of the chamber. The ethers, witnessing this intense emotional breakdown, convened an emergency meeting to reassess their mission's ethical dimensions. Solus, who had grown particularly close to Emma, voiced a compelling argument. "We ventured to learn about life, but we neglected the foundational fabric of human existence, their emotional bonds, and the sanctity of their familial connections. We have caused suffering where we sought understanding." This acknowledgement marked a pivotal moment for the ethers. The realization that their scientific curiosity had led to an ethical oversight caused a profound shift in their perception. The discussion shifted from scientific inquiry to ethical responsibility, with the council acknowledging that their actions, though well-intentioned, had been a mistake. The principle of non-maleficence, a core aspect of their philosophy, had been inadvertently violated. The decision was made to prioritize Emma's emotional well-being and begin preparations for her return to Earth. However, the complexities of interstellar travel and the potential repercussions of their visit to Earth posed significant challenges. They needed to ensure that Emma's return would be safe and would not expose Earth to risks of intergalactic attention. Solus proposed a solution. "Let us teach her about our technology, our culture, and our intentions in depth. If she understands us fully, she can also help her people understand, mitigating fear and potential conflict." This proposal was met with unanimous agreement, and it was decided that Emma would be educated about ether technology and diplomacy, transforming her role from an involuntary participant to an ambassador who could bridge the gap between the two worlds. As preparations began for this new phase, Emma was brought into the fold, her input sought in every decision regarding her return. The ethers, now more than ever, were committed to respecting her agency and choices, hoping to somewhat atone for their initial mistake. This chapter in Emma's journey underscored a critical lesson for the ethers. Understanding another being, particularly one from a different world, required an empathy that extended beyond scientific curiosity to the realm of heartfelt compassion and respect for their emotional and social constructs. In the wake of their ethical awakening, the ethers embarked on a new mission to not only prepare Emma for her return, but also to learn from her about humanity. This phase was about mutual exchange, Emma educating them about human culture, emotions, and social norms, and the ethers sharing their advanced knowledge and technologies. Emma began her role as a teacher with enthusiasm. She organized sessions where she shared stories of Earth, her family, and her experiences. Using interactive holographic displays provided by the ethers, she recreated famous Earth landmarks, explained cultural festivals, and even simulated typical Earth meals. The ethers were particularly fascinated by the emotional significance humans attach to music and art. Elements they found had parallels in their own culture, but were expressed in radically different forms. To deepen their understanding, the ethers simulated various Earth environments, from the bustling streets of New York City to the tranquil shores of a secluded island in the Philippines. Emma walked them through each scene, explaining human interactions, the importance of nature conservation, and how different environments influenced human behavior and societal structures. In these exchanges, Solus and the other ethers began to truly grasp the complexity of human emotions. They learned about concepts like nostalgia, grief, and joy, not just as abstract emotions, but as tangible forces that shaped human lives and decisions. This knowledge profoundly shifted their approach from one of observation to one of empathy. As Emma taught the ethers about humanity, she also learned from them. She was given access to their libraries of knowledge, which contained information about the technologies they used, the histories of various planets, and the philosophies governing their interactions with other civilizations. Emma was particularly intrigued by their methods of sustainable energy usage and environmental preservation, seeing potential applications on Earth to address ongoing environmental crises. The ethers, understanding Emma's interest in these topics, provided her with detailed tutorials on how they harnessed energy from stars, how they managed waste through complete recycling processes, and how they balanced technological advancements with natural conservation. Emma absorbed this knowledge eagerly, aware of its potential significance for her home planet. Through these interactions, a genuine relationship of mutual respect and understanding developed between Emma and the ethers. Emma began to see her unintended journey not just as an ordeal, but as an opportunity to help her world advance in peaceful and sustainable ways. Similarly, the ethers no longer viewed Emma as merely a subject of study, but as a crucial link to a new world, whose insights could enrich their understanding of the universe. As preparations for her return continued, Emma worked closely with the ethers to devise a plan that would allow her to share her newfound knowledge effectively. They equipped her with devices that could translate Etherian technologies for human use, and prepared comprehensive cultural notes that would help her explain her experiences in a way that her people could understand and accept. This chapter of her journey reflected a full circle in learning and understanding, marking Emma not just as a student or a teacher, but as a true ambassador between worlds. As Emma's understanding deepened, and her bonds with the ethers strengthened, the time came to finalize the plans for her return to Earth. The Ethereal Council convened to discuss the best approach, weighing the benefits of ongoing human-Etherian interaction against the potential risks of revealing their presence to a wider Earth audience. The Council was divided. Some members feared that initiating open contact with Earth could disrupt its cultural and political systems, potentially leading to fear, misunderstanding, or even conflict. Others argued that the benefits of shared knowledge and technology, especially in medical and environmental sciences, could greatly aid humanity. Solus, having formed a close bond with Emma, advocated strongly for an approach based on gradual, controlled interaction. Emma has shown remarkable adaptability and understanding. She could serve as a bridge between our worlds, helping to ease the fears her people might have about us, and introducing them slowly to our technologies, Solus proposed. After much debate, the Council decided to allow Emma to return home with the condition that she would act as an ambassador for the ethers. They would equip her with devices that allowed for communication with Etheria, and tools that could demonstrate their technologies in a non-threatening way. Furthermore, the ethers committed to monitoring Earth's reactions from a distance, ready to step back if their interaction proved too disruptive. Emma, brought into the Council to hear their decision, felt a mix of relief and immense responsibility. She accepted the role of ambassador, understanding the unique position she was in to help foster understanding and potentially beneficial exchanges between her people and the ethers. Preparations for her return were meticulous. The ethers designed a spacecraft for her journey that would safely and discreetly re-enter Earth's atmosphere. Emma was trained in its operation, though the ethers would remotely assist with its navigation to ensure her safe arrival. Alongside the practical preparations, Emma spent hours with the ethers' historians and diplomats, learning diplomatic protocols and effective communication strategies. She practiced how to explain her experiences in ways that were factual, yet sensitive to the potential fears and awe her story might evoke. The ethers also prepared a package of information and technology demonstrations that Emma could share selectively, based on the reactions she received upon her return. This included advancements in renewable energy, medical technologies that could perform non-invasive surgeries, and agricultural techniques that increased food production without harming the environment. As the day of her departure approached, a sense of solemnity settled over everyone involved. The ethers felt the gravity of what they were initiating, A new chapter not just in Emma's life, but potentially in the history of interstellar relations. Emma spent her last day on Etheria, walking through the places she had grown to appreciate, reflecting on her extraordinary journey. The viewing deck, where she had first looked out into the vast universe, held a special place in her heart. She stood there, watching the stars, feeling a profound connection to both her home planet and her new friends. That night, the Ethereal Council held a farewell ceremony, honoring Emma's bravery and expressing their hopes for a peaceful and fruitful future relationship. Emma, in turn, thanked the Ethers for their kindness and the knowledge they had shared, promising to do her best to fulfill her role as ambassador. With everything in place, Emma went to sleep on Etheria for the last time, her dreams a tapestry of Earth memories and Etherian hopes, ready to face whatever challenges awaited her on her home planet. The dawn on Etheria was always a spectacle, with the twin suns rising slowly over the horizon, casting a luminous glow that filled the sky with shades of peach and lavender. On this particular morning, the atmosphere was charged with a poignant mix of anticipation and solemnity as the Ethers prepared for Emma's departure. Emma boarded the spacecraft, a sleek silver vessel designed to blend into the night sky upon entering Earth's atmosphere. The Ethers had equipped it with stealth technology to ensure a discreet arrival, minimizing public exposure and potential panic. Emma felt a surge of nerves mixed with excitement as Solace and several others joined her to review the final checklist. "Remember, Emma," Solace communicated telepathically, his form shimmering with a gentle light. "You can reach us through the communicator at any time. We will be watching and ready to assist should you need us." Emma nodded, clutching the small device that would keep her connected to Etheria. She looked out the viewport, taking one last glance at the planet that had been her home for the past few months. The doors sealed with a soft hiss, and the engines hummed to life, vibrating through the cabin as the spacecraft lifted off the ground. The journey back to Earth was smooth, the advanced Etherian technology making space travel feel as simple as a flight between cities. Emma spent the hours reviewing her notes and the information packets prepared for her. She practiced her explanations, trying to find the right words to convey her extraordinary experience without causing disbelief or fear. As the spacecraft approached Earth, the familiar blue and green globe filled the viewport. Emma's heart raced with the excitement of seeing her home planet, mixed with the weight of her responsibilities. The descent was carefully controlled, the ship's systems managing the re-entry with precision to land discreetly in the same remote mountain area from where Emma had been taken. The landing was quiet, the only sound being the gentle whir of machinery as the spacecraft touched down amidst the trees. Emma stepped out into the cool night air, the familiar smells and sounds of Earth enveloping her in a comforting embrace. She was home. Waiting for her, just as the Ethers had predicted and arranged, were her parents, and a small team of government officials who had been covertly contacted by the Ethers to ensure a safe and private reunion. Her parents rushed forward, tears streaming down their faces, embracing Emma in a tight hug that spoke volumes of the fear, relief, and love they felt at having their daughter back. The officials were more cautious, their faces a mixture of awe and skepticism as they regarded the Etherian spacecraft, and listened to Emma's initial brief explanation. She handled their questions with a calm confidence, showing them the communicative device and some of the non-invasive technologies she had brought back. The demonstration of a simple Etherian medical scanner that could diagnose without touching the body earned her quick points, bridging the gap between fear and fascination. As dawn broke, more discussions were held inside a hastily erected secure tent, with Emma providing a more detailed account of her time on Etheria. Her parents stayed close, listening with a mix of pride and worry, supporting her through the complex process of bridging two vastly different worlds. Emma's return marked the beginning of a new chapter not only for her, but for Earth. The groundwork was laid for future interactions with the Ethers, predicated on trust, respect, and the immense potential benefits such an interstellar relationship could bring. Emma, once just a curious child looking at the stars, was now a pivotal figure in the unfolding dialogue between worlds. In the weeks following Emma's return, Her story captivated the global community. The media, government officials, and the public were ablaze with discussions and debates about her extraordinary journey. With careful coordination, Emma and the team of government liaisons managed the flow of information, releasing details strategically to avoid overwhelming fear and to foster a sense of wonder and possibility. Emma became the face of what was quickly dubbed the First Contact Initiative. Press conferences were organized where Emma, demonstrating maturity beyond her years, shared her experiences. She spoke about the Ether's culture, their technology, and their peaceful intentions. Each appearance was carefully orchestrated to highlight the mutual benefits of interstellar cooperation, particularly emphasizing the advanced environmental and medical technologies she had brought back. Documentaries were soon in the works, and educational programs started integrating the knowledge of extraterrestrial life into their curricula. Emma worked with scientists and experts to demonstrate the Etherian technologies, facilitating a series of controlled public demonstrations that showcased their potential applications. One such demonstration involved using Etherian agricultural techniques to revitalize barren land, which successfully produced crops within days. The global response was a mixture of astonishment and enthusiasm, with a significant portion of the public eager to learn more about the ethers and the possibilities of space travel. However, there were also pockets of skepticism and fear, fueled by concerns over the implications of such powerful technology and the potential for future alien interventions. To address these fears, Emma and a newly formed diplomatic body, comprising scientists, diplomats, and ethicists, began a series of public dialogues and educational forums. They discussed the ethical considerations of interstellar relations, the safeguards in place to protect Earth's sovereignty, and the stringent protocols the ethers adhered to in their interactions with other civilizations. Internationally, governments negotiated how to handle this new reality collectively. The United Nations set up a special committee to explore the implications of extraterrestrial contact, with Emma occasionally invited to share her insights and experiences. These sessions were pivotal in shaping international policies regarding extraterrestrial engagements. Privately, Emma continued to communicate with Solace and the ethers, who were keenly observing Earth's reaction to their introduction. Their communications were warm and supportive, with Solace often providing Emma with advice on handling the complex human reactions and political maneuvers. Emma's family, while supportive, also had to adjust to the intense public scrutiny and the constant security precautions now part of their lives. Her parents, protective yet proud, managed to keep their home a sanctuary where Emma could retreat from her responsibilities and enjoy being a child with her brother. As months passed, the initial shock of the revelation faded, and a new norm began to settle in. Emma's role as an ambassador became more structured, with a small team dedicated to managing the logistics and planning of her engagements. Scholarships and funds were established in her name to promote the study of extraterrestrial sciences and diplomatic relations. Through all this, Emma remained a symbol of hope and a bridge between worlds. Her story inspired countless children and adults alike to look up at the stars with curiosity rather than fear, pondering not just the vastness of space, but the shared humanity that connected all beings across the cosmos. As Emma's story continued to inspire and unfold, the world gradually adapted to the new reality of an interconnected universe. The initial flurry of excitement and apprehension gave way to a more reasoned and structured approach to interstellar relations. Emma, now a seasoned ambassador at a remarkably young age, played a central role in this ongoing narrative. In schools worldwide, children learned about Etheria and the broader cosmos as part of their standard curriculum, encouraged by Emma's advocacy for education and cultural exchange. The ether's technologies were gradually integrated into various sectors, particularly in renewable energy and healthcare, where they had a transformative impact. These technologies helped combat climate change and revolutionized medical treatments, making previously incurable diseases manageable and often entirely treatable. Emma often participated in international conferences and symposiums, not just as a speaker, but also as a student eager to learn and grow. Her unique experiences made her a bridge between human and Etherian perspectives, fostering a dialogue that was deeply informed by empathy and mutual respect. The Ethers, observing the positive impact of their interaction, were encouraged to slowly increase their visibility, participating in joint research initiatives and sharing more of their advanced scientific knowledge. On the diplomatic front, Emma was instrumental in the establishment of the Earth-Etheria Liaison Office, EELO, a new entity designed to facilitate communication and coordinate efforts between Earth and Etheria. This office served as a hub for cultural exchange, technological collaboration, and educational partnerships, ensuring that interactions remained transparent and beneficial for all involved. The personal impact on Emma was profound. Despite her global responsibilities, she remained deeply connected to her family and her hometown. Her parents, supportive as ever, ensured she had space to grow at her own pace, ensuring she had time to be a kid, playing, exploring, and sometimes just doing nothing at all. As Emma grew into her teens, her role as an ambassador evolved. She began to mentor young leaders from around the world, fostering a new generation of diplomats and scientists passionate about fostering peaceful and productive interstellar relations. Emma's early experiences had taught her the importance of understanding and respect across cultures, lessons she was eager to pass on. Perhaps one of the most significant developments was the public's evolving view of the cosmos. What was once a realm of distant, abstract concepts became a community of which Earth was a part. The night sky was no longer just a canvas of light, but a map of potential friends and undiscovered wonders. The annual Cosmos Day, initiated by the ELO and celebrated worldwide, epitomized this new era. On this day, people around the globe participated in cultural exchanges, scientific exhibitions, and communal activities that highlighted the unity and diversity of the interstellar community. Emma often spoke at these events, sharing her story, not just the parts about her adventures among the stars, but also her reflections on what it means to be a part of a community that spans planets. The final chapter of Emma's journey as a young ambassador concluded with the inauguration of the Etherian Embassy on Earth, a beautiful structure designed by Etherian and Earth architects that symbolized the harmony and potential of their joint future. Emma, standing at the podium during the opening ceremony, looked out at the crowd, a mix of human and Etherian faces, and felt a profound sense of achievement and hope. Her closing words resonated with a message of enduring cooperation. Today we stand together, not as representatives of different worlds, but as citizens of one universe. Let us continue to learn from each other, to grow together, and to face the challenges of the cosmos hand in hand. With that, Emma's story, which had begun with a curious glance at the night sky, transitioned from a tale of unexpected journeys to a legacy of lasting interstellar friendship and cooperation.